Fellas, welcome back to another video, man. So what does it take to throw a turbo onto one of these, an LS, or in other words, LS, same thing, man, different platform. You got aluminum, iron block for the most part, same platform, you guys know the deal. People like to go back and forth on that. It's not an LS, same thing, man. Same thing, different frosting, different flavor. Don't mind the front wheels, we did get a new wheel set up. We'll go over that in a different video, just waiting on the back wheels. Once I get those, I'll throw those on. Still have to do the brake conversion though in the rear. If you want to do 15s in the back, you do have to do a brake conversion because the rears won't fit a 15 with the caliper. So in the next video, we'll be changing that, throwing on some 15s, and then we'll show the overall new wheel setup. But nonetheless, man, here it is, turbo truck in all its glory. If you guys haven't seen the most recent video we did, we finally took out the truck to do a few little pulls, nothing too crazy. It was the first time that we really drove the truck because this thing only recently got tuned by KP in the last like 3-4 weeks or something like that. So if you want to watch that video, it'll be right there, fellas. Check it out. But yeah, we'll go over a little breakdown of pretty much everything you need to boost an LS, man. Everything from the turbo system, the intercooler system, all the sensors. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. And then in the end, we'll throw in a few little pulls or something, man. Can't get enough of driving this shit. And just to start off real quick, for everyone that's new to the channel, new to the build, I'll do a quick little breakdown of what's done to my truck. It's gonna be a VS Racing 7875 turbo. Fuel system, we're running Walbro 450s dual, 2 of them. So those are paired to some FMS injectors, 1200 cc or 120 pounds, I believe. And then our transmission is a rebuilt transmission, just upgraded clutches, has a Transgo shift kit. Our stall is going to be a FTI triple clutch stall. I believe it's a 3600 stall. And we have a custom aluminum drive shaft. Engine-wise, engine is SBE stock bottom end, only has a cam, LS1 rocker arms, and that's about it. That's done to the truck. Other than that, it's pretty much stock, man. That's what we like to say, right? Stock truck. We'll go ahead and start off with the most obvious one. That's going to be running a turbo. The one I'm running is a 7875 from VS Racing. I was going to run this one from Max Speedy Rods, a little GT45 turbo. I've seen some people run GT35s. It really just depends on how much power you want to make, but anything GT45 and up, you're going to be straight. And anything in the 70 millimeter range, people go 80 mil, 90 mil. Those are for crazy numbers. Mine is a 78 mil. I have no complaints about this turbo. It spools nicely, puts down the power, and all at a pretty low cost too. So if you guys want a turbo, definitely recommend VS Racing. And before I do forget, you will need your oil drain going from the turbo. We got our oil drain line on, so we'll go ahead, get that connected to the turbo. For those wondering how we have our drain connected, I'll put a clip right here to show you guys kind of how that looks. To the front of the oil pan, can't really see it, but it's basically right behind this wheel right here in front of the oil pan. So that comes right on up and then under the turbo right there. So you're pretty much just putting a spot for your oil to drain back into the pan. And then you have your feed up here, which is coming from the top of the turbo all the way down to the bottom side of the engine. I'll put a clip right there too of what you need down there. That little small adapter is going to allow you to feed oil to your turbo. So just attach that and then, yeah.
Easy swap right over.
And that's it.
That easy.
And if you guys actually want a cost breakdown of my build, how much everything costed me, I already did a video on that. If you guys want to check it out, it's gonna be right there, man. But yeah, that brings me to the next thing. That's gonna be your turbo manifolds that go from this end. Then you have your crossover bar that goes under the engine. And then that crossover comes all the way over to the hot side right here. And then obviously to the turbo. And then keep in mind, a lot of this stuff depends on how much power you wanna make. My truck's currently making 600 right now. So we're pushing about 15 pounds. It's built to do even more, about 800-900, but obviously we're not going to go that high on a stock bottom end. I'll probably push it to 700 eventually, maybe 8 once we turn up the boost later. So prime example for that is going to be the fuel system. Like I said, depending on how much power you want to make, you could run just one Walbro 450 fuel pump. And I'm running 2 because of the power I'm making and want to make in the future. I believe one pump is good for like about 600 horsepower range, somewhere around there. If you want to make more than that, definitely go dual. Or if you just don't want to have fuel issues in general, just go with 2, man. And then for that fuel system, you're gonna have to get injectors. So your injectors also depends how much power you want to make. If you want to be in the 400 or 500 range, 80 pounds is good, 90 pounds is good. So that's gonna be pretty much it for your fuel system. I'm running a TBSS intake. I have the stock fuel rail going to the regulator, which is right there. So a lot of people ask about the intakes on these. You could even stick with a stock one. I just upgraded to the TBSS intake because why not? It's only like $100, $200 to upgrade to it. And pretty much for the fuel rail, you're just adding a fitting that goes to your PTFE lines to the regulator. And then that's it for fuel, man. And then obviously you have the exhaust that goes to your turbo. That could be different depending on how you want to run it. Mine is just going straight under to a dump. Same thing with the wastegate. You can see right here, just goes down there to the side to a dump. We got 4-inch and then 2.5-inch piping for the wastegate. Some people run 3.5-inch for the exhaust. I was able to make 4-inch work, and a lot of people actually use 4-inch, so you go with either of those. A little close up of the wastegate right there. Ooh. So far I like it. It's not too loud. I mean, obviously it's gonna be louder than just running it into the exhaust, so that's what most people do. Just get your wastegate, run it right here instead of just dumping it like that. But so far I got no complaints because shit sounds good. And then next up you have the intercooler piping. And if anyone is wondering how everything is set up, you know, as far as the hoses, the vacuum lines, the sensors, just everything overall, just go to my channel. You can see everything, the whole process of how we hooked up everything. At least we try to record everything. But our intercooler piping is going to be 3-inch piping, aluminum obviously. That's obviously going to go all the way around to the front to our 4-inch core. And this is just a universal cooler. It's like nothing special. You get these on Amazon, eBay. This side over here obviously just goes straight to the turbo. Real simple setup. And if you guys also want links for all these parts and pieces, that's also going to be in the cost breakdown video. So I tagged it earlier. I'll tag it again right here. If you guys want all the links to that, they'll be right there. And then next up, you have your wastegate and your blow-off valve. My wastegate is a 60mm wastegate from Summit, and my blow valve is a 50mm from Summit. Honestly, haven't had any issues with them. If you want a good bang for your buck, just grab them from there. As far as sizing, I don't really think there's a huge difference or that makes a big difference. I'm not a tuning expert, so if anybody in the comments wants to say, or any tuners out there, you guys go ahead and let them know in the comments. I know as far as sizing, there's a lot of people run 44mm wastegates or even two 44mm wastegates. So I guess it just depends on what kind of setup you want. Like I said, mine is a 60mm, haven't had issues. So your 50mm blow-off valve, mine is slapped right there. I know most LS's, at least on the trucks, you know, this could be a different setup depending on, you know, if you have a Camaro, Corvette. Wastegate is down over right there, nice and tucked. So that's how I have those. And this ain't even LS stuff. This is basic to any turbo setup. And we're pretty much already getting down to the end of things. I mean, really, obviously, you know, when you look at it, when you don't have too much experience, it does look and sound really confusing. But it's really just about piecing everything together. And then one of the last pieces that you're gonna need is your catch can. I have this little Amazon one. I have it covered just so it's not spitting out fumes and oil and making everything dirty. So definitely upgrade that later, but it's a little Amazon one, gets the job done. You have your hose going to your valve cover and then your other one to the intake. So pretty easy to set up. All that's left in the engine bay is gonna be your sensors and then pretty much just your vacuum hoses. So like I said, if you guys want to break down on, you know, attaching all that, I have this vacuum box right here. This one going to my sensor inside the truck. This one going to a T, goes to the wastegate, goes to the intake. You have the blow-off valve one over there. You guys know the deal, man. And then lastly is gonna be your sensors, which is only 3 sensors, or one's actually just a harness. So you have your breakout harness. That goes where your MAF would go. You have your map sensor. That's gonna be a 2.5 bar map sensor from GM. It's gonna be the blue one that you see. And then you also have your air temp sensor that goes to that breakout harness. So that just goes from there to right here. And then obviously there's a bunch of other upgrades you could do to make your engine bay look pretty. Coolant tanks, you know, valve covers, other little shit. But if you're kind of doing just a little budget build, as far as the engine bay, that's pretty much all you need. You know, hook up all your hoses, get your exhaust piping done, and just apply to what I said, and you're pretty much good to go. The last thing is gonna be, of course, your boost controller. As you can see, mine is obviously an electronic boost controller. Just depends on how much you want to spend. If you want to go manual, you could do a manual one. Those are relatively cheap. I think like $100. If you go electronic, most of them are going to be in the $500-600 range, just like mine. I guess the main difference with going electronic, you'll have more safety features. If you overboost, it'll cut the turbo off. Stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the reasons I went electronic. And as far as like cluster, obviously you don't need fancy gauges like this, just the stock ones. One gauge also hooked up your boy with the screen, so couldn't say no to that. But yeah, man, as far as everything to turbo your LS, fellas, get all that shit, get that all together, and you're pretty much good to go. And that is why everyone goes LS. It's just, even to turbo it, shit's really easy. Yeah, so there you have it. That's a quick little breakdown of everything that you need to turbo one of these trucks and LS in general. Obviously, there's a little more to it, you know, as far as like maintenance and preventative stuff, doing your gaskets and all that. But if you just want to full send it, and just say, fuck it, throw this shit together and go boosted. That's all you need, man. Yeah, let's go do some pulls now. And fellas, real quick, right now is a good time to go ahead and shout out Xtool for sending me one of their OBD tablets. This little OBD scanner could do everything from check engine lights, any warning lights that you have on. Comes with all the accessories that you need, and the best part is that it could do a different variety of vehicles. So GMCs, Jeeps, Chryslers, you name it. And here you can see a variety of those different functions, you know, battery resets, TPMS lights, maintenance lights, everything. It pretty much does it all. So for example, here, just hooked it up to my Mustang real quick, gave me the codes that I needed to repair. And then, yeah, so if you guys want to grab one of these, I have the link in the description with a coupon code. Y'all see it though, man, truck looks good. A little sneak peek of the front wheels. Of course, we got straight pipes, and the neighbors love it. Once it warms up, that's when we get to chopping. Truck sounds better than the Vet. Not gonna lie though, Vet is way louder. At least at idle the truck's louder, but full throttle, Vet clears it. Gotta put some gas first. This E85 does not last. Got 17%. I don't know if you guys can see that, 17%. Let me get the oils warmed up. Let me get everything warmed up. These older cars, man, you can't just get on it. This ain't a G82. This ain't a B58. I want everything to warm up the diff, the tires, then we'll be all right. Cruising the truck for being straight pipes, it's really not that bad. There's not too much drone. Yeah, if you're just cruising the truck, it's not bad. Obviously, it's louder than every other car on the road, but like if you compare it to a straight pipe Mustang, I've heard those straight pipe 5.0s, those things are loud as hell. I could daily this. In reality, I could daily this. If I knew I would have no issues with the cops, I for sure daily this. £1, 309 for E85. That's atrocious for E85. Yeah, 319 for E85. Oh yeah, they tripping. E85. Oh, it went down to 309. We'll just put like 20 Roonies. We had like rain the past like 4 or 5 weeks, so had to bring the truck out, man. Right here. Things get a little too squirmy. Need to go 15s. I'm running 305s. 305s. I don't even think it's the tires. It's just the back end of these trucks are like stupid light. That's pretty much it though. Next time you guys see this truck, it's gonna be on the 15s. You guys will see the new wheel setup. We're gonna upgrade the brakes, add the MSD two-step, and then I think for now we'll be able to say the truck is done.